So, Joy, have you ever been to a Turkish prison? Do you like gladiator movies? By the way, is there anyone listening who knows how to fly a plane? Well, looks like I picked the wrong day to give up Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond. That and sniffing glue. Not that there's a difference.
Today on Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond.
Business isn't easy, you get up every day and you want to make it the best. But I always look at just trying to stay focused.
You don't need to play it safe.
This was spectacular.
I mean, I'm going to be really honest, so I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, that's what we want.
And there will be bumps in the road. There will be twists and turns.
You needed moxie on the floor and volume.
It's the results and the connections and the improvement, the impact we have on other people's life. And that's when life becomes exciting.
Who do you turn to personally to get back on the thriving track?
I was really interested in how the world works.
Thanks for the great introduction.
It was really very simple. I just read part of your bio. Be brief, be bright, be gone.
Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond, connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. I'm your host, Lou Diamond. Today on Thrive Loud, we have a visionary, a man that has won the most sought-after hair award known as the NAHA, or the Naha, which is the highest honor bestowed to a hairstylist in all of North America. It's the equivalent of an Oscar award for you people. And this guy has won it 3 times. After years of styling hair for photo shoots, fashion shows, and celebrities, this man wanted to create styles for which there were no tools available. This is the reason he co-invented our Session Pro Tools. He is in the make people feel good business. Their facility's reputation and talented staff that excel in their craft creates a one-of-a-kind guest experience. A man that I wish could work on my head. However, there is just not much to work with up on top. Thrive Loud listeners, Frank Rizzieri. Frank, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Well, welcome to Thrive Loud. I think this is definitely one of the more unique type of guests we've had on this program. And we need a little background and a little understanding as to what you're up to and the passion that you're in, because this is unique. So if you could share with the Thrive Loud listeners, they're all about how people are thriving in their lives, their businesses, and their passions. And it sounds like this is something you've been doing your whole life.
It has. I mean, I've really kind of driven mainly by passion. I've never really did anything that I do for money, which I know sounds crazy because I am an entrepreneur. But for the most part, I get involved in things when it comes from the creative side of the business, all about passion. An example is when I started our Session Tools, it was really to come out with tools that hairdressers need on a photo shoot, because for the most part, outside of the salon business, I've done photo shoots for better part of 15 years. And there wasn't really the go-to tools. And a lot of the tools weren't really developed by hairdressers. They were developed by like marketing people. So I came out with my partner, who's Kevin Ryan. We came out with some very interesting tools. And it was a really different type of story because I never made anything before in that level. So I knew nothing about going to China and trademarks and patents and anything that went into that. So it was definitely a learning experience.
So for those that aren't that familiar, self-included, what do you mean by the types of tools that you've actually created? And exactly what are we talking about here that you put together?
So they're hair tools, things to style hair. So, and just like anybody's professional craft, you want some of the easiest tools to help you get the job done the quickest. So at the time, there wasn't certain types of curling irons that were out on the market to create this really natural wave. Friend had taped some irons together. I used to assist him on a photo shoot. I said, wow, that looks interesting. Let me see if I can get it made. So here I am, Mr. Mr. Enthusiastic. And I'm like, okay, now I have to get this thing made. So kind of took me all around the world, learned about getting molds done, and we had it done, and it became the cult tool for hairdressers, and it's really a professional tool. So it's sold to hair stylists and professionals. It's not something that you would find on the shelf at, like, say, a Target.
So let's go through this from your perspective, because this is kind of cool. Here you are, obviously working with all these tools and obviously fashioning and styling hair to now technically becoming a manufacturer, for lack of a better word.
Really.
Talk about that transition for you as an entrepreneur in the business seat. Like you said, you do things out of passion, but here you are managing a product and trying to bring it to market. What was that like for you?
Well, it was really different because I had to actually deal with a broker who kind of took my ideas and convey it to someone 8,000 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously I would love to get some done in the United States, but we didn't have the infrastructure to do this type of manufacturing. So I went to a manufacturing house in China that really specializes on hair blow dryers, curling irons, and the like. And it was just really hard for me because, it's really a year process by the time, and I had to actually go through and design a mold and have a mold done. And then it had to go through ETL testing, UL testing, all the things that you just don't realize. You see all these fancy little stickers and stuff like that on any electrical tool, but they actually mean something. And then you have to figure out how you have it made, lead times, factor in Chinese New Year, and have it shipped to a port in the United States, and then from there trucked to a warehouse. So it was definitely more different than my profession was opening salons, doing hair. So it was a learning curve.
Okay, so let's compare the two, right? Obviously, one is your time and your value in obviously styling hair and what your value is and what you can do in a salon. And the other obviously can have a huge multiplicative effect, but a big cost up front. Which did you like doing better if you want to separate the two businesses? Because they really are two different businesses.
They're completely different businesses. I just happen to be in the beauty hair business.
Right.
One is the salon retail side and the other one's the manufacturing conceptual side. I mean, from my point of view is I love both, but I really love developing something from scratch. And this doesn't have to be a hair tool, but I love taking a concept, looking at the concept, figuring out how you then get it kind of done, whether it's I've developed a line of hair extensions, I developed a line of hair tools, I've developed products. So I really am, and I gather all that experience from years of doing photo shoots, working on ad campaigns, working with celebrities. So I have a lot of understanding on how the pieces come together. So that part of it and putting all the pieces together and going through the whole process of concept, development, manufacturing, shooting the concept, getting in print, getting it digitized, getting all the stuff that you have to do to get a product out. I love that. Okay.
So now I got to dive into this. Talk to me about this Naha Award that you've won. How long ago was this that you won 3 times? So how long ago did that take place?
It was probably 15 years ago was when I started to get into the industry. I won 3 times, but I was nominated probably like 4 or 5 times. And the thing about it is I am not really big on awards. I did it because it was something that I wanted to do, and I won. I won 3 times. Like I said, I was nominated about 6. I'm not a big showy person, which is probably one of my downfalls. I'm pretty low key. I don't do things for anybody else but me. So if I do something, it's because I'm passionate about it and I really believe in it. And I don't do it because I got to throw it up on social media or Instagram, which I probably should be a lot better with. But the Naha Award is like a big deal. It's really like our Oscars. But I don't think that defines anybody because at the end of the day, I submitted pictures that a judge has voted on. Doesn't really tell you the depth of who the person is, which I'm a real big depth person. So I think that there's more to me than those pictures, even though they mean a lot.
I was going to, but take that. I was going to parallel this together was having that familiarity and winning those awards. Did that help with our Session Pro Tools and help to use that from having the brand that you had from your connection in the salon industry and hairstyle?
Actually, not at all. Not at all. I didn't use any of that. Our Session tools in developing the product were from my 15 years of doing photo shoots around the world. So for a better part of my life, I worked in the salon. I worked for my dad, really hard worker. I would go in the morning at 7 o'clock, leave at 10 o'clock at night. And I got involved in doing photo shoots in New York. And this is when everybody was shooting on film. And you would actually go into the meatpacking district, which is all fancy now, but there was like really literally meat packers there, blood in the streets, hookers on the corners. And you would actually go there and do photo shoots. And that's how I built a book. and a book was a portfolio before everything became digital media. And I learned, and then from there I work with, some really famous photographers and then designers and work with magazines. So it was that is what really got me involved in the R Session tools and that whole world, because I traveled literally all around the world. I mean, doing photo shoots for tons of magazines, and I'm doing celebrities and fashion people, and I learned so much from that. I really understood about concept and understanding about the big picture, like almost like a director looks at, a movie. They understand all the moving parts and they get all the right people together. And my part was the hair. But what I found is I like doing the hair. I like the whole big piece more than just the hair. So going and being a photographer wasn't in my thing at the time or now, but I took all that experience on understanding how to come out with a concept or a design to market.
I like it. Give our listeners a little bit of a realm of, because obviously it's a very niche business that you're in, where R Session Pro Tools is, and what you focus on. How has it grown from inception? Give me what's the time frame from when the idea came to market, and where does it stand today, your company, organization, and your exposure around the world?
Well, I mean, it started in 2009 as really a two item iron. One was we called Naha, which is a double barrel iron, and the other one was Root Control, which was actually an iron more for the textured black market that had really tight hair, and you have to flatten out the root around the edges. It came out as two tools. I sold it on a website. I did incredible with it, and then as the line grew, I came out with brushes and blow dryers and combs, and I went into the school market. I tried a little bit of a thing with Ulta, coming out with some branded products for them. It's actually been almost like a boutique little company for me, because it doesn't represent my biggest revenue in my company. What it represents is just a creative outlet. And really, most of the people, it was all word of mouth. And I'm retooling the company again to really look at doing more higher end products, getting out of blow dryers, shedding some irons, and doing some other really unique things that hairdressers need. So it's very hairdresser centric focus for hairdressers on the top tier of the market that want to spend a little bit more for the tools that they need every day to create looks, whether it be on their clients or for celebrities or photo shoots or whatever.
Frank, you're in the make people feel good business. And obviously, as you mentioned, you've got this realm of your typical day is probably all over the map. Is my first question. Is every day like a completely different one, or is it more set in a pattern in the way that you go out each and every morning?
Well, I mean, I try to keep some normalcy to my job. I mean, even though I do touch different things every day, I mean, in my role, when you look at my company, we are over 270 employees in 2 states, 5 salons, cosmetology school, the hair tools, and some of the other projects that we have, some real estate projects. So there's a lot of different things that go on. So I've kind of expanded myself into being an entrepreneur in the beauty business. I try to, when I'm not traveling, I try to make sure that I still am in the office to touch base, but I love doing hair and I love seeing my staff. So just to give you a typical example, like this morning, I helped raise money for a cancer center. So I believe you have to give back in life. And one of the biggest things that's really passionate about me is helping women that go through cancer. It's a very scary moment in any woman's life, and losing your hair is also something that's pretty devastating. So the hospital here that I have was on the foundation board, which is Virtual Health System. They asked me to be involved. I said I would only do it if I was really involved with helping women. They built a cancer center, and in there I opened what I call our hair boutique. So it's about 300 square feet. It's very private. It's for any women that are going through cancer treatment in that facility, or one of the Virtua properties. And they get their head shaved, they get a wig, a head wrap, and they don't pay for anything.
That's awesome.
So I spent my morning there. Everything's donated. I've raised about 300,000. I spent my morning there because one of our girls that was giving her time up has never did it before, and I didn't want her to be in a situation where she felt uncomfortable. It was Amanda, and I was like, look, I'll hang out with you this morning and I'll help you out. So that's what I'm doing there. And then I have a meeting tonight to actually announce that particular person. Amanda is going to be manager of one of our salons because one of the manager there is moving to my Florida location. So I'm all about helping people within my company grow. I think that's really important, and I want to see their growth. And if they grow, I grow.
I love it. So you've created a culture, you've created products, you make people feel happy, you're doing philanthropic things across the board. We're recording this at the beginning of 2019. Frank, what else is in store down the road for you? What are your bigger plans? You seem like a guy that always has something up his sleeve and looking to try and think about the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think knowing how long things sometimes take, I think you got to work on a project sometimes 2 years ahead of time. So this year on my plate is really, I just closed on our second salon in Florida in the Lake Mary, Heathrow area, and we closed on that last week. Right now, I have the transition of management in my internal locations. I am moving one of our salons out of the virtual health and wellness facility into what I call my new model, which I have in my Morristown location, which is very big. I want to slim it down because that's where I see as my growth vehicle, and that is in our. It's going to have a salon, barbershop, medical spa, massage, and hair salon. And right now we have one that we're moving into. I have another one that I'm going to build, and that's pretty much all we're going to do in 2000 and some other small acquisitions in the school side of the business. And that's what I look like we're going to have for 2019. I always keep something open because, something always changes, but that's it on that side.
So running through all this, and this is, by the way, unbelievably impressive, incredibly successful. You'll probably sit back and are never satisfied, but yet you're always trying to keep moving forward. Frank, I love asking guests on this program that we all have off days that don't always go the way we'd like them to be. And we're not necessarily truly thriving the way we'd like to. When you're having trouble thriving, who or what practice do you seek to help get yourself back on the thriving track?
I think I'm never happy with anything, and it's either a good thing or a bad thing. Okay. I'm always it's not a good thing, but it's what drives me. There's a lot of things that, whatever, business isn't easy. You get up every day and you want to make it the best, but I always look at just trying to stay focused. I have a really good support team internally that I talk through. So when I have to bitch, I know who to bitch to. I really try to stay active, in my wellness. So I swim a lot. I do triathlon. And I'm not really the athletic guy, but last year I did 6. This year I want to do a half Ironman. So I try to swim or do some type of exercise every day. And a big thing is talking to my kids. My kids really ground me. So when I'm having a bad day, I talk like to them.
By the way, Frank, if you've done 6 triathlons, you can't get out of saying that you're not really an athlete. I'm sorry. You could try and throw that under the rug and try and get away with it. But 6 of them and trying to do an Ironman, I think you can put yourself in that category whether you want to or not, knowing how difficult they are.
I'm extremely competitive. I don't like to lose.
So Frank, let's do this. Let's get the admin part out of the way. Share with the Thrive Loud community.
Okay.
All the places people can find you. These are however you want to promote this: websites, locations, everything that you have, so that people know where to find either you or your businesses that obviously you run.
Okay. So I think Rizzieri.com is the best way to find us. On the website, you can look at all of our locations, our school, do a little research on us, because our locations in New Jersey are in Washington Township, Morristown, and Voorhees. And in Florida, we are in Heathrow, the Heathrow Lake Mary area, and in Orlando. That's a great way, Rizzieri.com. Also on the R Session Tool side, it's just rsessionprotools.com. And on Instagram, I'm just Frank, RIZZIERI. and Frank Rizzieri on Instagram, and you can follow me on Instagram.
So Frank, I've got two questions for you here. We're gonna move this to a signature question first, and then a special one just for you. Frank, what is your all-time favorite movie?
Oh my God, I would probably say The Godfather, because I think I've watched it 500 times and it never changes. So I would probably.
So what is the part of that movie that connects the most with you?
Oh my God, family. You know, I mean, obviously I'm not in the mafia, but I do really. I know if you took a spin and you just looked at it as my family came from Italy, so I really understand the culture, and I understand what family means, and I understand what taking care of people means, and I look at that. My extended family obviously is my family, but my people that work for me are my family. So making sure they're well-being as well, giving them opportunity, giving them the ability to do things maybe they weren't able to do in their life, and I was able to do that, then that's important.
That totally connects home. Frank, I'm giving you a bonus question here. Okay, listen. So I pretty much, I'm glad you're opening up a barbershop somewhere within this facility that is like a one-stop shop for everybody that I guess everyone can go together. All right. To the thin-haired guy like myself, should you shave it all off, or should I just continue to buzz it down to a half and just continue to have more and more haircuts than I could possibly ever add up to?
I don't know, without seeing your head shape and understanding. I mean, but I think if your hair is thinning as a guy, a close cropped haircut is probably your best bet, because, obviously, it builds from no hair to hair. And depending on your head shape and what you feel comfortable with, it's a great way to mask more thinning or sparse hair. It looks really nice, and with products today, you can really make it look really cool.
I needed you a long time ago, Frank. Frank Rizzieri, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for coming on Thrive Loud. We will get all the show notes out there, but really cool to have you on. Definitely a different taste from our normal guest, but I think the spirit of what you're doing is really, really awesome. And thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. I appreciate your time.
You got it. And to all the Thrive Loud listeners out there, thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep thriving onward and upward. And remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.
Someday, and that day may never come, I'll call upon you to do a service for me. But until that day, accept this justice as a gift on my daughter's wedding day.
You've been listening to Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond, you lucky person you. As long as you're not a weirdo, make sure to subscribe on iTunes, Overcast, or wherever you get your podcasts. Please, I'm begging you, we're really cool. Also, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Come on, I know you all have those social media platforms and you use them on the daily. If not, find us on the web at thriveloud.com. It was nice thriving with you, and see you next time.